going on, everyone? So today we're doing a trade recap. I got a really nice trade on Tesla today. It's Monday, August 1st. I caught the upside opening range break. It's very volatile right now. I was in the trade for just over 1 minute and I made $5,600. Pretty insane to make that much that quick, but Tesla is very volatile. It is clearly moving to the upside. So when it kind of confirms those levels or makes the patterns that I like to trade and then has some nice follow through, you can make a lot of money very quickly. But then also vice versa, because it's very volatile, it can go against you very quick. So once again, the most important thing for me each day is to make sure to do my best at managing risk. I want it to start to go quickly in my favor or just get out of the trade. And I was able to patiently wait, kind of let it move around a little bit, had the dip, found some support, very quickly got back towards the highs, a pattern that I really like to trade, got a nice quick move in my favor, and had an awesome green day. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about my detailed process, my story from beginning all the way up to this point, the daily chart patterns that I look for, the intraday patterns that I look for, and the technical levels that I like to trade around, I made sure to go over all of that in my day trading options guide. This is it right here. This is the main first page, and then this is the table of contents. This is everything that I go through. And what I've done is make sure to go over every single one of these topics in detail, and then at the end of each page, what I do is I put a YouTube link that explains in more detail of what I'm talking about, and it shows examples. So it's a very organized and structured way of going through it. It's a 62-page downloadable PDF. If you're interested in getting access to this, there's going to be a link in the description below. All right, so now let's go over the newsletter watch list. Today I was watching Tesla, Boeing, Alibaba, and Meta. And now to go over the market technicals and the why, because that's the most important part. So we'll start with SPY. I mentioned that it's extended, but it can easily go higher. More upside if clears prior day high and holds above. Has room to 415, 417. Can pull back if weak open, then breaks pre-market low and stays below. Has room down to 407, 405. And now the Qs, similar situation. It's extended on the daily, but it can easily continue higher. I feel like the short-term trend right now is up. More upside if gets above prior day high and holds above. Has room to 318, 320. Can pull back if weakness off the open, then breaks pre-market low and stays below. Has room down to 311, 309. And now Tesla, so a big momentum day on Friday. Check out that candle. That is a candle to take note of on elevated volume. Very strong. More upside if gets above pre-market high. Has room to 925, 935. Can pull back if it fails to move higher off the open, then starts to trend lower and goes green to red and breaks pre-market low. Has room down to 865, 855. So obviously the short-term trend on Tesla is up, but I'm always open-minded to both ways, especially in the current market. You never know what's going to happen. I don't want to be too biased in one direction. So I'm always having a thought or a plan about what could happen, both long and short. Obviously, I want to be aware of what the short-term trend is, and I try to stick with that. But if things change quickly, I want to be open-minded to the other way. That's my thought process and how I approach the market each day. Try not to have too much of a bias one way or the other, and then wait for the patterns that I really like to trade that I go over in my day trading options guide. So now to go over the intraday on Tesla. So obviously we know the daily chart. Big momentum candle the prior day. Had the gap up today. What was it going to do off the open? And I want to wait for a pattern. So had the gap up. Nice move higher. It did pull back a little bit, but I just didn't really want to short this because it's been very strong recently on the daily chart. Found some support at 900, and then check out this huge 2-minute candle. Got back above VWAP and the 9 EMA. I anticipated the upside opening range break just a little bit. When I got long, had a nice move in my favor, went in my direction very quickly, and then when it started to speed up, I took profits for a big win. So now let's get into the actual trade. So pulled back, found some support at 900. That's a huge 2-minute candle right there. I feel like buyers are taking back control, back over the VWAP and the 9 EMA. I wanted to anticipate that upside opening range break just before it made that new high. So I went long, 10 calls, the 9/10s, and I got filled at $25.10. So it ended up clearing high day, getting a nice move in my favor right now, really starting to speed up. And I'm just going to take quick profits because that's what I do consistently. And I ended up selling it right there, all 10 contracts at $30.70. So now to check out the P&L, it was an awesome one and done day. And from that trade in just over 1 minute, made $5,600. So that was the trade recap. I appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to talk about a couple cool things that I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is exactly what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every single day. I do a quick analysis of the overall market, the SPY and the Qs, if there's any major market news that day, and then all the stocks I'm interested in watching. It's usually 4 or 5. If there's any major news tied to them, and all the levels that I think are in play. To the left, this is exactly what I'm posting on my private Twitter. I make sure to add that newsletter. I take a screenshot of the charts, green line to the upside being long, red line to the downside being short, and I make sure to highlight those two levels above. This is everything that's going on in my mind and my game plan going into each market open. Also, I make sure to add a little mental note because every day is slightly different, and here's an example of that. And if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, I do offer a live one-on-one call for 1 hour. This is where you can ask me questions about my journey, go over setups specifically, everything that I've gone through as a trader. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this is a great way to connect with me. So if you're interested in my private Twitter or the one-on-one live call, feel free to go to callmattdiamond.com or check out the links in the description below.